Welcome back to Veteran Voices. I'm your host, Jay Baker, and today we're talking with Harold Davis about his time in the Gulf War. So, Harold, you sail back in after going to rescue the Americans out of minefields, and you come back into Halifax Harbor after the Gulf War. So, what was life on the ship after the Gulf War?
It was a lot easier. I mean, we weren't on, I call it high alert, right? Because our captain, the ship, when we went through the Suez Canal, finally got permission to enter the Suez Canal heading to the Gulf. He came on the speaker and he said, guys, training is over. There'll be no more training exercise. You either know it now or you don't,
Right.
right? And the next time you hear action stations, it's real. And we did. We heard him a couple of times at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why he always got to do it so freaking early in the morning. So, but I mean, when you're on a ship that's got 300 people roughly, and the action stations goes, and in under 3 minutes, that ship's closed up. She's ready to fight.
Right.
It's, because we knew it wasn't an exercise anymore. People moved around with urgency, to get their job done. And everybody took their pride in what you've done, what you did, what we were doing, So the guys, the best to me, the guys I served with on the Athabascan, I mean, we got the Protector and the Terra Nova also. But for me, I was on the Athabascan, and they're a great bunch. They had your back, no matter what.
Right. And you have a bunch of medals, and you've obviously sailed after the Gulf War and did a little bit of a tour in the Mediterranean. How was that now coming back through the similar areas, no longer in action stations?
It was great because we came back and it was a lot more relaxed. Like half our air crew flew home. Some of the ship's company flew home early. And
Right.
because when we got home, we needed people to come on the ship and man the ship while the ship was, downtimed, right? And
Right.
the other guys, the rest of us could take off. So, I mean, when we did the port calls on the way back, we had immigration, the CBA guys fly over to Gibraltar and we cleared customs in Gibraltar. So,
Okay.
so when we turned around and got to Halifax, there was no
So
customs,
you were able
just full
to
right in.
get off the ship and kiss the wife and not have to worry about customs first, right?
Oh yeah, and it was good because when I was one of the first 10 off the Athabascan, and we had the lieutenant governor at the time, um, Ray Natition. He was there and he was greeting the first 10 coming off type thing, right? And shaking his hand, looking at the rank and the name. And when he came to me, he said, "Welcome back, Master Corporal." And he looked at the name and he says, "Oh, we got you out just in time." Because I got a name tag made up with the name was in Arabic.
Oh, goodness.
And I put it on my uniform. So, but the place was crazy. It really was that day. It
Wonderful.
was, it was off the scale, but a lot of guys that came back from the Gulf, they didn't have the same welcoming.
Oh,
Very low key, like yeah, the fighter squadrons and stuff like that. They never had what we had in Halifax.
right.
They landed, their loved ones were at the hangar, and that was basically it. Grabbed your wife and your kids, and you walked out of the hangar. And that was wrong, but it was the way it was, right? And unfortunately, the veterans had nothing, no say in it. It was the upper echelon that had
Yeah.
all the say at that time, right? So, and I think those guys were done an injustice that they never got the recognition in that day of coming home.
Now, fast forward to today and stuff. Uh, are you still in touch with a lot of your shipmates from back then?
Well, we have Persian Gulf Veterans of Canada, and a lot of them have joined us in supporting us. We've got a Gulf War Illness Facebook page that has a bunch on there. We have a closed Persian Gulf Veterans page that if you've never served over in the Kuwaiti area during the Gulf War or after the war,
Mhm.
that's just set up for that. So the guys got privacy and you can say what you want type thing, and they can, just be themselves. So we keep in contact that way. We
Good.
try to have, like in Halifax there at Fairview Legion there, he has some things that happens there every now and then for Gulf War veterans, which is nice. And our 35th anniversary is coming up next year. So,
Oh, wow.
or not next year, the year after, right? So we'll be working with Veterans Affairs on having a thing going on at the Ottawa Military Museum, probably in Halifax too, maybe one around Winnipeg or Cold Lake, because I don't know what the end result will be, but hopefully it will
Hopefully
be,
something,
because
yeah.
yeah, there was only roughly around 5,000 of us that did it, and I don't think there's 5,000 of us left.
Right. So I know through my own travels, I was just in Kuwait for a little bit, and I remember as a kid seeing, a kid, 18, I remember seeing, the airstrikes from the Gulf War on TV and all that sort of stuff. And now as an adult, when I'm going through Kuwait, I actually saw the hardened bunkers that were damaged by the airstrikes, and they're still there, and they're all busted up and not used. But it was kind of gave an interesting and slightly eerie feeling that that this time from the 90s is still prevalent in that area today.